be compatible, and after one practice I was amazed at how compatible everybody was together. And the one line that surprised me was, I would call it our fifth line. They were really good, so we've got a lot of possibilities to put guys together and with different people as well.
You talked about high energy in the team meeting last night. Did you really feel that it was high enough energy in the first practice?
Oh yeah, I was very impressed when we got to the scrimmage. The first part of the scrimmage was better than I expected, and even the second part of the scrimmage. Some of the guys were getting tired, but they played well nonetheless. It was pretty impressive.
Last year, McDavid and Eichel were the sort of headliners at the World Juniors, and Matthews was there and as a rookie role. What could he learn from that last year, taking it this year, given that there'll be a lot of scrutiny and spotlight on his game this year coming up?
Well, I'm sure he learned a lot from that, and that experience can only make him better. He's been playing this year with men all year, so I think that's really the real bonus that he has going for him, that now he's playing against guys his own age or a little bit younger than him. So a lot of what he learned last year he'll be able to take forward and hopefully play better than he did last year. So I'm very encouraged with what I've seen so far.
What do you see? You're probably getting to know him a little bit more on the fly as well, like describing his play from what you've seen on tape, what you're seeing in person. What can we expect from him going forward?
Well, only great things is what I see. He handles the puck. He controls the puck when he's on the ice, and he sees the ice very well, and he dishes the puck very well. DeBrincat's going to have to get used to, going around the front of the net and just having a stick on the ice, because the puck's going to get there. And with Matthew Tkachuk, Matthew loves to make plays around the net and has a knack for doing that. So I think. I think that line was made for us, and that's why I put those guys together, and I see nothing but chemistry from them.
Ron, do you see a difference in Matthews from when he was in Lake Placid to now? Do you see a more mature player? Do you see a more confident player? What do you see?
Well, I certainly see a more confident player, and the summertime, it's what it is. It's summertime, and guys aren't in the shape they are now. He's been back playing regular. Probably the last month, and it shows. He's given, for an 18-year-old kid, he's got an assignment every night. He's got to go out against the other team's import players, and they're usually pretty good defensively too. So he's got to handle all the big face-offs, and he does a good job with that too.
Ron, what do you need to see specifically from DeBrincat for him to maintain a high profile on this team?
Well, he's just got to. He's going to have to be a guy who buries the puck, and which he's done all year playing junior, and that's why he's leading the league in scoring. And I don't see any reason why that should be different out here. He's playing against all his peers, but for the American side this time, and that's what I'm really looking forward to. How well he plays in this tournament against a lot of his peers, because he's dominated this year.
A junior age player going overseas, not playing CHL, not a conventional move. On the positive,
it's not playing college hockey either.
It's true. Oh, I know that. Yeah, but it's not a typical move. He's kind of forging his own path. Do you like the move developmentally? I mean, it's clearly it's working for him, but it's not the move that most kids make at that age.
No, but I think in the future that's going to give everybody some new ideas, especially for the Swiss clubs, that they can recruit North American kids to come and play in their league, and the player will be able to fit in and do the job. So I think it takes a special guy to be able to do that, but I think with his success you're going to see a lot of guys start to do that. I don't know what that's going to have for American college or Canadian junior hockey, but he's set a precedent, that's for sure, this year.
Do you think it's a good thing or a bad thing?
I don't see why it's a bad thing. I think it's a good thing. If he can play in a league where everybody's professional, they're all men, more power to him. And I think it's going to open a door for a lot of different guys. Well, every year there's probably 3 or 4 guys who can do that. So I think it'll give them another possibility.
What's the plan on defense? Do you intend to bring 8D over to Finland, or what's the plan there?
Well, the plan is we'll have 8D, maybe even 9D we'll bring in. I'll try to give it's kind of hard. On paper now, I'd say bring 8D, and we'll try to use everybody. But we've got a lot of offensive guys, a lot of, I guess you could call them defensive specialists, but I like the overall balance that we have. We've got enough offense and enough defense back there, too.
And the Deltrovic wasn't in Lake Placid. You get to see him now. Obviously, it looks like there'll be a battle between he and Halverson for maybe that #1 role. Parsons played well today, but can you talk a little about the goaltending battle between those two and maybe where you might stand right now
Well,
with the two?
Ned wasn't at camp in the summer because he had surgery on his leg and he couldn't be there. So we just had to wait for him to recover, and he's played really well recently. Halverson's had a bit of a struggle this year. His team's not as good as it was last year, so it's been a bit of a struggle. And we've got Luke Opilka still. He's got to pass a medical to come here. And I would say the battle's wide open in goal. I mean, that includes Parsons too. Anybody can be our goalie.
What's the identity that you want this team to have this year?
The identity? Well, I'd like to be a big, fast team. As big, I don't know if I can really say that, but a fast team that forechecks really well.
You talked about wanting a big, fast team. You guys obviously lost Paul Bittner a couple days ago. How big of a loss is that for your team? And given the timing, how much of it was a pain not have no window to find a replacement?
Well, that's right. We didn't have any window. I was just told a few days ago that he wasn't going to be available, and that's a big loss because he's a big body. He's 6'4", and those kind of guys are hard to replace. So there's nothing we can do. We're just going to have to make up for it somewhere else.
What about the emphasis on